What's going on, everyone? So, obviously, the Russell Westbrook experiment didn't work out. And one of the things that did work for the Lakers, though, was pacing, right? They were extremely fast. They were, top in transition, top in pace, all of that stuff, because you had a Russell Westbrook who basically was just run and gun, and then you had a LeBron James who could do the same thing. When the Lakers lost Russell Westbrook, there was a question about like how are they going to be pace wise? How are they going to be, in transition? Not the transition defense. Transition defense was terrible last year, but pacing wise, they were still pretty good, right? You still have a LeBron James. How does that look? But it was kind of the thoughts of like, well, now you're so reliant on LeBron for your pacing. Does that become a problem, right? D'Angelo Russell isn't like super fast up and down the court. Austin Reeves isn't super fast up and down the court, right? Gabe Vincent, he kind of pushed the floor in the pacing. And it was like, okay, well, maybe they're not up there in pacing. Maybe they're just kind of faster, but maybe they're probably a little more, half court oriented, a little more, hey, let's run some sets, let's run some plays. You got D'Lo, you got Reeves, you got LeBron, three excellent playmakers that can kind of get the flow going, run a lot of pick and roll. That was kind of the idea, right? But now fast forward to what we've seen so far in preseason, and they've been excellent as far as pace and just fast breaks and stuff. I mean, they are really pushing it up and down the court. Everybody, right? Gabe Vincent, D'Angelo Russell, even with like LeBron and everybody. I mean, they're not wasting time. They're running a lot of 5-out sets, right? Which is great. The ability to spread the floor, shoot, create lanes for LeBron to just kind of walk to the basket. D'Lo, Reeves, all these guys, right? Like even Rui, you're seeing him just be able to get to the basket. It's their offense, I think, is going to be very good. Like I've talked about how I believe the Lakers will be top 5 in offense, top 5 in defense. But I also said I wouldn't be surprised if Lakers are number 1 offensively, right? And at the rate they're looking, that may really be the outcome, right? Because they again they're averaging like 110 points per game in preseason, which is a lot considering you basically have only played one game with LeBron, and in that game he played like 12 minutes, if that. You only played like half your games with Anthony Davis. Austin Reeves has played one game, right? Like yeah. Jared Vanderbilt, I know he's not great offensively, but defensively and his ability to kind of just push the pace as well, create turnovers, things like that, which get you out in transition, right? Like it still has an impact, right? Like I just look at this, I could see them averaging easily 120 plus a game. Honestly, we're going to be much better shooting the 3-ball. We've already seen that. Like the Lakers are a very good 3-point shooting team already. Right? I don't think that they're going to be like top 5 or anything like that in 3-point attempts or 3-point shooting, but I do think that they'll be at worst middle of the pack. And look at it like this last year. Last year, the Lakers were 7th at 116 points per game. The number 1 seed, as far as like scoring went, was the Sacramento Kings. And they were 120 and some change, right? So you got Lakers 116 and some change, Sacramento 120 and some change. And they were the number 1 offense in the league, right? Well, guess what? I fully believe the Lakers, with this current roster and a full season with the entire core, could make up 4 points, essentially, and end up being the number 1 seed, and as far as, like, scoring goes. And I wouldn't be shocked at all. Again, if they are top, I think at worst, they're probably top 3 to 5 offensively, right? And then if they're top 3 to 5 offensively, I think that they're probably number 1 defense still. At worst, I think they're top 3 defensively. And to put that in perspective, the only team that was top 5 in both last season was the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics were top 5 in offense and defense. And they were one of the best teams in the entire league and made it to the conference finals. Lakers, you got to imagine, are going to be there in that regard. And it's nice to see them be able to get out and run with pace, run out in transition, generate a lot of easy buckets, and have the offense just be so free flowing that I just think that they're gonna have such an easy time. And again, they're doing this without LeBron, without Reeves. D'Lo looks like he's ready to take the next step. He's looking phenomenal. And look, I understand it's preseason, right? But when you look at preseason, like what are the habits right? What are the trends? Like, it's not like preseason's a completely different game. It's not like preseason is, not is just something completely different than what the Lakers are going to do in the regular season. No, like a lot of the things that they are doing in the preseason, they're going to do in the regular season. All teams do that. It's not like they go, okay, well, let's play a completely different brand of basketball in preseason, right? And then we'll just switch it up all regulars. No, it's not how it works, right? So everything we're seeing from the Lakers right now in preseason is all going to be the same result in the regular season. And I don't see anything, like, if anything, it'll be better and should continue to get better because guys will, as the season goes on, will have better chemistry. Guys will be in a better rhythm, a better flow, right? Like they'll be playing at a higher level because, preseason, you're not, you have possessions where you're really locked in and focused, or you have, moments where you're really locked and focused. But, for the most part, you're just trying to get out of preseason unscathed, right? You're trying to just, get a sweat, get a burn, play some nice basketball, work on things that you need to work on. What are the good things that, you can use as a foundation to grow and continue to improve with? What are the things that you need to get better at, right? Like those are the things that preseason provides. And then when you get to the regular season, you start hitting things harder and you start, the defense, picks up more and, your sets, you start hitting things harder, right? Like all of those things I think will translate well for the Lakers. And I just really, besides the depth, which I think also will help them a lot with pacing and just their ability to get out and transition and stuff, because you have so many young athletes that can just run out on the court, but you can always keep fresh legs too. So you can have your starting five of, let's say, D'Lo, Reeves, let's call it Vandal, LeBron, and AD, right? And have them just kind of run and gun and play. And you got Anthony Davis that could be a floor running big, right? Well, then you can sub out Anthony Davis, put in Jackson Hayes. He's still a floor running big, right? And can be a lob threat and, just run the floor great. Throw in Taurean Prince. You could throw in a Cam Reddish. You could even throw in some of these other young guys like a Shafino or a Lewis if you wanted to, just kind of keep the young legs out there. Max Christie, Christian Wood has even shown the ability to run the floor well, right? Like I don't know if they'll be number one in pace. I don't know if they'll be number one in even transition or fast breaks, right? Like, you look at the teams like Minnesota are usually up there. It's because they got a guy in Ja who's basically a one-man fast break, right? Like a lot of these, there are several teams that I could see being up there, but I think Lakers will be top 3 to 5 in pacing, right? I think that they're just gonna run and gun, go out there, run 5 wide sets. They're gonna have tons of great driving lanes. You're gonna have all these mismatches. You got guys that can actually shoot the basketball. Like the Lakers are in a very good spot, and it's a little surprising because it was a real question mark, right? Of like, how fast do we play more methodical? But I also think that we could play either way, right? So like the good thing is that like when you get to the playoffs, things slow down, right? Your teams aren't as like up and down as usual, right? And you need to be able to have some half court offense. I think you're going to have that with this roster. I mean, we've already seen it. So the ability for the Lakers to play both, the ability for the Lakers to run a half-court offense, run some pick and roll. I mean, D'Lo and Anthony Davis, one of the best plays in all of basketball. You've seen the chemistry with D'Lo and Jackson Hayes, Austin Reeves, his ability to run the pick and roll, obviously LeBron James, stuff like that. Like you have such a versatile lineup and now you have shooting and stuff, so it makes it harder to pack the paint, everything, right? Like it now puts so much pressure that you didn't have in previous years on the opposing defenses. And you can now run a more free-flowing offense in the half court, but also at any point just take off and go if it presents itself, right? Like you have Rui who can grab the rebound and just get down the court. You have LeBron. You have, Jared Vanderbilt, Taurean Prince, right? Cam Reddish, Austin Reeves, D'Angelo Russell. Like you have all these guys that like they don't need to wait. They can handle the ball good enough to kind of just push the pace, get down the court, and everyone wides out and that opens up the lane, take it to the hoop, defenses collapse, you kick it out, boom. Now you got Torian Prince shooting 40%, Adilo shooting 40%, Austin Reeves shooting 40%, right? Like, I do imagine Christian Wood starts coming around. He should be shooting, 38%. Gabe Vincent has shown the ability to shoot the ball again, which is really good, right? If he can get 38%, like, you start looking at this roster and it's like, good luck trying to stop them. Good luck trying to slow them down. I look at teams, of course, Boston, of course, Milwaukee, of course, Phoenix Suns, stuff like that, Denver, right? They have to be able to stop the Lakers. And the Lakers defensively are going to be pretty good, right? Again, they'll probably be top 3 at worst defensively. So you're going to be talking about one of the best defenses, but you're also going to be talking about like an elite offense, right? And it took literally Jamal Murray and Jokic having like career series, literally, for them to barely squeak by the Lakers. Yeah, I understood they swept. That entire series was divided by 23, 24 points total. I mean, Bruce Brown, everybody talked about how the Lakers were the toughest opponent. They didn't have the chemistry. They didn't have the offense. They weren't able to go 5 wide because Anthony Davis couldn't shoot, all that stuff. Like, it's a different Lakers team, I'm telling you. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel about the pace? Do you like it so far? Do you not? Do you think it'll translate well into the playoffs or into the regular season and then the playoffs? Again, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments.